Okay guys, let's progress in chemical thermodynamics. Now we are talking about standard enthalpy of chemical reaction, which is represented this way. Alright. Now what are the standard conditions? Standard conditions are temperature 298 K, concentration 1 molar and pressure when is 1 atmosphere. We call it as standard condition. Alright. Now in standard enthalpy chemical reaction calculations, numericals, normally we get confused like when to use this formula. For numericals of this type, you would be provided with standard enthalpies of formation, that is this, or you would be provided with bond enthalpies, that is this. Now, if we are provided with standard enthalpies of formation of compounds, then in that case, this is the formula that you are supposed to use. Now, in case of standard enthalpies of formation, we have got to use del R H standard enthalpy, del R H standard enthalpy, and it is summation of del H standard enthalpies of product minus summation of del H standard enthalpies of reactant. Alright, this is the formula that you have got to use when you are provided with standard enthalpies of formation. Alright, but when you are provided with bond enthalpies, that is bond breaking, this is bond making, then the formula that you use is for standard enthalpy of chemical reaction is summation of del standard enthalpy of reactant minus summation of del standard enthalpy of product. Alright, so don't get confused. You just have got to check when you got a numerical, got to check whether you have been provided with this or you have been provided with this. If you are provided with this, this is what you have got to use, and if you are provided with this, this is the formula that you have got to use. Alright. Now this is also used for standard enthalpy of combustion. Alright, whenever you are trying to do standard enthalpy of combustion, this is what you have got to use. Now all these things I am covering up in another video with numericals. Alright, explaining you how you have got to be cautious while using these formulae. Okay, now another thing is Hess law of constant heat. Hess law of constant heat summation. This also I would be explaining in another video in format of numerical. Alright, so I just explain you the theory behind it. Now in case of Hess law of constant heat of summation, if A gives you C and A also gives you via B and C, that is in two step, then now this is standard enthalpy 5 kJ per mole, this is standard enthalpy 5 kJ per mole, this is yet another standard enthalpy 7 kJ per mole. Now when you add this up, what you end up with is 12 kJ per mole, and that is what we also get when we directly get from A to C. So what we say is del H0 is equal to del H10 plus del H20. 0 obviously means standard. So del H standard would be equal to del H1 standard plus del H2 standard. Alright, so this is what is Hess law of summation, Hess law of constant heat summation. So heat difference here plus heat difference here is equal to heat difference here. Now how is it applicable? Now see, so we know this, but we don't know this. Alright, so we know this value, we know this value, we don't know this value, so we can just calculate, right? Take it here, difference would be this. Alright, okay. For this also I would be providing another video with numericals, alright, to make it clear. Alright.